Hello everybody, welcome to Talk About House. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, today's video is about the housing market being 6.5 million homes short.
Right.
Now this is not negative inventory. This is the number of houses that we need to have built that are not being built.
Right.
Okay, first of all, why do we have, let's talk about this. Why are we short? Like what happened that caused this?
So during the housing crash, a dozen years ago, builders got hurt, right? They had overbuilt and then they ended up getting stuck with homes. There are a lot of builders that went out of business. So it was just, it was a mess. And what the builders learned out of that was don't build.
Right.
They didn't really learn the most important lesson, which is build for what the market can absorb and sell to qualified buyers and that sort of thing. They didn't learn that really well. They just learned don't build. And that's really unfortunate because now over the last dozen years or so, we have been building up this whole inventory shortage of homes. Now, you may be thinking, well, but there are lots of places for people to live. There are apartments going up everywhere, right?
Right.
But that's not really what we're talking about, is it? We're talking about single-family homes that are a path to home ownership for people.
Let me go through the numbers here.
We're not just talking about having a roof over your head.
Okay, in the decade between 2012 and 2022, 15.6 million households were formed. During the same period, 13.3 million housing units were started, and 11.9 million were completed. That's the thing is you have housing starts and housing completions because sometimes they're just not finished, right? Or they file a permit, but they never build. That includes 9 million single-family homes and 4.2 multifamily. This is the problem. This is what you're talking about, the multifamily. Of those, only 8.5 million single-family homes and 3.4 million multi-home. So here's the big numbers. 15.6 million households formed, 8.5 million single-family homes built. That is a huge, huge problem.
It is.
So people say, yeah, but there were all those, they both built apartments. But remember, those that's not home ownership.
Right. So, there is a way to kind of deal with that. And we did see that back around 2007, 2008, where they took apartments and they converted them to condos.
Condo conversion.
Right. So there were condo conversions. So that is a way to mitigate that. But that's not what's happening right now. What's happening right now is they're just putting up buildings for people to live in, which is great because people need to live somewhere. But it's not, right now, it's not a path to home ownership for people.
Right. And the other thing is, a condo's not a house.
No.
It's not a house. Okay, so you're probably saying, well, what would it take to catch up? Okay. And why? Why is this important? Okay. If you only look at single family homes, the rate of housing would need to triple for the next 3 to 4 years, which is we're actually going back the wrong way. We did a video on this about a year ago. We got a ton of heat for this. Why the builders stopping to build with home prices to go up about a year from this. What we said about a year from now, once there's no more new homes, everyone would be back in the resale market. Home prices start going up, which is like what's happening right now. So there's two things. One is interest rates are high. It's expensive for them to build, and their end user customer potentially has a higher cost, right?
Right, but it's more than that. I mean, there's still the labor shortage to consider. There's still cost of labor, cost of materials. There's still supply chain issues. So it is really complicated.
Right. We are going to have, I think, systemic long-term housing shortage. And because of that, we've already seen inventory over the last decade every year get less and less and less in the housing market. This is bad for the industry. It's bad for buyers because buyers are having less choices. And this is why home prices are going up again, even despite 6% interest rates.
Right. And there are solutions out there that are creative. For example, Elon Musk is building a whole town basically for his employees. And that's not a new concept. Company towns are a very old concept. So there are all kinds of creative solutions out there. But for the most part, people, and by people I mean investors and builders, are kind of sitting on the sidelines and pretty much rubbing their hands, but not really taking action to improve the inventory situation.
Yep.
So it's an interesting thing. What do you think? What's happening in your market? What are you seeing? What creative solutions do you think would be good? I mean, we've seen, the Boxables of the world, as far as these prefabricated homes. We've seen all kinds of things like that. But I think that the solution is maybe one that hasn't been put out yet.
Yeah. That's great for a short term, but that's not, people don't desire to live in a Boxable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. That's a short-term situation, kind of the same way an apartment's a short-term situation.
Yeah.
So homeownership, as far as we're concerned, is still, we think, everybody's desire in their hearts, and that's what we like to see. What are you seeing out there? What do you think? Let us know. Please like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.